Now, today we are going to discuss two methods. The two methods are used to check if a thread is alive or not. So first one is alive. So there are two ways to determine whether a thread has finished execution. The first method is alive method. The alive method returns true if the thread upon which it is called is still running. It returns false otherwise. That means this method is alive returns true or false values depending upon the execution of the thread is completed or not. Whenever a thread completes its execution, alive method returns false. Whenever the thread is running, alive method returns true. Now, we come to the second method. The most commonly used method that will wait for a thread to finish is the method join. The join method waits until the thread on which it is called terminates. Now, with an example of join method, we can understand the concept. Suppose there are two threads are simultaneously running, thread T1 and thread T2. So after some time, thread T1 will call T2.join. This line means that thread T1 is waiting until the thread T2 terminates. As you can see that after a certain time, thread T2 terminates, and in that case thread T1 will wait for the thread T2 to join. That means in that particular line T1 executes and it waits for T2 to complete its execution, and then T1 resumes its task. So thread T1 is waiting until thread T2 terminates, and this is the actual utility of join. We can give an example. Suppose I am taking the Java class and some of my friends is waiting for me to complete my class, and he will meet me after my class has been over. So likewise, thread T1 waits for T2 until it completes its execution. T1 is starting its, or it can resume its work. So sometime or thread T1 is waiting until T2 terminates, and that is the utility of T2.join method. Here we consider an example of alive method. We have to write a class thrd1 which extends thread class, and we have to write public void run. Inside that there is a for loop that it starts from 1 and ends to 5, and we are printing that thread 1 and along with the value of I. That is the implementation of thread 1. So we have to write another class, that is public class txt thread. Under that, public static void main string s, and then we have to create the thread class object that extend the thread class, that is thrd1 th1 new thread. So we are creating the thread object, and then we are starting the thread th1.start. In or after that th1.start, we can see the value of isAlive method. To show that, we have to write system.out.println th1.isAlive method. So in that case, you can guess the output is true, because we are just starting the execution of thread 1 and we are printing the value of isAlive method, which determines if the thread is alive or not, or in other words, if the thread completes its execution or not. Now in next part, we are writing a simple for loop where the value of k is 1 and at the end the value of k is 5. Now we are printing the message main thread along with the value of k. So you can think of, so as per we know that whenever this particular sentence is written, there is a new thread that is created along with the main thread. So here is the main thread and a new thread is created along with the main thread. So this particular piece of code is executed by the main thread, and after execution of this particular for loop, we can check that is th1, that is thread 1, is alive or not, or what is the value of th1 is alive. So you can think in that particular sentence or in that particular point of time, obviously thread 1 ends its execution as well as the main thread also terminates, and th1.isAlive method will give you the value false. So have a look at the output. So here is the output. So in this output, you can see the first th1 is alive, printing true value. So that is the th1.isAlive. So whenever we start the thread th1 and we are considering printing the value of this thread, it is true. And after execution of thread 1 and obviously and the execution of the main thread over, wherever we see that main thread k value is 5, in that particular loop k value ends at 5. So in that time, both the main thread and the child thread terminates. So whenever we print the value of th1 at the last line, you will get false, because all the thread has completed its execution and obviously this means it is the value of th1 dot is alive method. In that case, the thread 1 terminates and obviously th1 is alive returns false. Now, to understand how the join method works, we are taking an simple example of creating the thread. So we are creating th1, that extend thread class, and we write some for loop as per the previous example, where I starts from 1 and ends to 5, and we are creating a thread 1 object, that is th1, under in the public static void main and the public class txt thread. And now we will start that particular thread, that is th1, and we are printing the value of th1 is alive. So obviously this th1 is alive prints true, because we are starting the thread 1 and we are trying to see if it is alive or not. So obviously it is alive and it will print true. So now we are writing th1.join method. So you can see that th1.join method is written inside a try catch block. So here you can think of a particular example. Suppose two threads are simultaneously running and one thread calls join method on another thread, like T1 calls join method on T2. So T1 calls T2 dot join. So obviously there is another thread is running like T2. Here, whenever T1 calls join on T2 class, T2 thread, T1 is waiting for T2's completion. But this time until T2 completes, T1 will wait. This is a very uncertain event. Why? Suppose T1 tells that I am waiting for T2 to finish its work and then I can start my work. But in that particular time period, thread T1 may be interrupted by another thread, and for that reason we have to take care of this T2 dot join sentence. And if any event or any thread interrupts the execution of T1, there may be a chance of interrupted exception occurs. So always try to put T2.join inside a try catch block. And likewise, we will handle this kind of exception and write th1.join method under a try block and also catch this particular interrupted exception inside the catch block. So we write join method in try block and catch the exception, particular exception that can be done by any other event or thread on that thread that is calling the join method. very clear that we are writing T2 dot join in T1 method, T1 thread. So obviously we should write try in the thread T1. Next, we are also printing the value of th1 dot is alive right after the try catch block. And then we write a for loop, simple for loop, where k starts from 1 and k less than equal to 5. And obviously this part of code is executed by the main method or main thread, and the previous for loop is executed by the child thread. So here is the concept is that the main thread is calling the th1 dot join. So this is main thread is calling. So the thread th1 until and unless th1 completes its execution, main is waiting, or the main thread is waiting for th1's completion of execution. So you can think of the output is coming like as per the value. So first statement we are writing here th1 is alive starting the thread 1. So it will be printing true. Yes, it is fine, it is printing true. And next, the main method is calling this section of code that main method is, or the main thread is waiting for the thread th1 until its completion. So obviously in that case thread 1 will complete here, and after that the main thread begins its execution. And we can see that in this particular line the child thread th1 completes its execution and is alive method returns false. So this false means the child thread completes its execution, and then the main thread is executing its body of the loop, and after k value 5 the main thread terminates. So here we can see that main thread is waiting for thread 1 to complete. Here main thread is waiting for thread 1, that is th1, to complete its execution. So here main thread is waiting for th1 to complete its execution, and when the main child thread exits or terminates, the main thread will begin its task. And this is how the join method works.